Nassau speaks out, Royal Caribbean's in the money, and a world cruise gets diverted. Cruise News Today starts now.
From the Cruise Radio studio in Jacksonville, Florida, this is Cruise News Today with Doug Parker.
Good morning. Here's your cruise news for Friday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day. Well, Nassau has responded to that U.S. travel advisory that was issued last week. In an editorial for the Tribune, a local Nassau paper, Ed Fields, a local Bahamian, criticized the U.S. State Department's travel alerts about rising violence in the Bahamas as excessively severe and harmful to the nation's tourism-reliant economy. Fields pointed out that there have been no incidents involving tourists in the Bahamas in 2024. He contrasted that with higher incidences of violence and crimes in the U.S., arguing that the risk to tourists in the Bahamas is minimal. I had a chance to speak with Scott Lara, a local travel agent, about the travel alert yesterday.
People who are traveling to Nassau just need to be mindful of where they are, just like anywhere else you're going to be.
The editorial advocated for media coverage to accurately portray the Bahamas as a safe destination for the roughly 8 million tourists that mostly arrive by cruise ships.
Go through the cruise line to get a shore excursion if you want to go somewhere, and you're going to be safe and you'll get back to the ship on time.
And Royal Caribbean Group reported a strong fourth quarter earnings and a full year earnings yesterday, along with an optimistic outlook for 2024. The group announced a full year profit of $1.7 billion from total revenues of $13.9 billion, with a fourth quarter profit of $300 million, a significant turnaround from a net loss the previous year. The company closed the year with $5.3 billion in customer deposits. And finally, due to escalating tensions in the Red Sea, Princess Cruises has rerouted the Island Princess World cruise to avoid the region, including the Suez Canal. Now, this is impacting the originally planned visits to the Middle East and Asia. A letter to guests on board from the captain said this was a precautionary measure because of the political conflicts happening in the region. As a result, the ship will now extend its time in the Australian waters, making stops in Melbourne and Perth, and then 7 days at sea, followed by a visit to Cape Town, South Africa. And the photo of the week comes from Sylvia. Snow on the Queen Mary 2. You don't see this often. You can send your photos in, doug@cruiseradio.net. And cruise line stocks were mixed on Thursday. Carnival Corporation up 1.3%, 16.80. Royal Caribbean down 0.5%, 126.96. And Norwegian flat, 17.79. If you have a story, drop us a line, tips@cruiseradio.net. Have yourself a great weekend. I'm Doug Parker with Cruise News Today.
Cruise News Today is a production of Cruise Radio. Behind-the-scenes content and extras are now available at patreon.com/cruiseradio.